Call to order this Blair City Council regular meeting Tuesday, April 5th. Would you all stand and say the pledge of the flag with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Jan, can we have a roll call, please?
Child.
Here.
Donlin.
Here.
Wick.
Yes.
Sturgeon.
Here.
Bruns.
Here. Motion to approve the agenda.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
Motion to approve the other, had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to welcome everybody. I am the new face behind the chair just for today. However, our mayor's out of town, so welcome everyone watching on TV. Welcome our media people, Beth from the paper, my favorite newspaper girl. And a new face representing Clem, John Schlager, is here for his first meeting of the year. New to many of us, but is a Northwest Iowa person, and we look forward to working with him and having him represent Clem. So welcome. Welcome. General discussion. We start our meetings with general discussion, open to anyone from the general public who has an idea or concern or anything. Remember, we cannot act on anything brought to the podium today, but we are willing to listen and work with those who have a comment.
I don't know if any of the council's been out by the Love's truck stop, the construction site, but it's coming along nicely if you haven't been out there. Moving a lot of dirt. They'll be putting in some infrastructure here soon. In fact, I got a call this morning from their on-site coordinator, and I'll be looking at some footings tomorrow. They're going to be getting some prep work done there and getting the rebar down. So project is coming along pretty nicely. They had a rain delay last week where they didn't work once, but it was nothing but mud. So, but they've been going. They got all the vehicles off of Key Avenue as of yesterday. I wanted them to get going on their parking lot on site, and they assured me it would have been done by the first, or late last week or first of this week. And Monday they were on site and off of Key Avenue, so that was a positive thing. So just thought I'd give you that quick update.
What's their estimated time of completion?
August sometime.
Good.
It'll be completed, depending on what kind of delays they may run into.
Absolutely.
But they're looking at August.
I heard they had to dig quite deep before they found any water, which bores out
Yeah.
the idea that it's
yeah.
pretty dry.
Yeah, it's pretty dry. It's dry.
Yeah.
If you've been out there, you'll see that detention basin is getting deeper all the time, and that's all the dirt they're using for fill on the grounds. Is they had plans for the detention basin, so they're using that dirt for grading purposes. So the project's come along nicely.
You got a sign up that says how much a gallon of gas is yet?
Not yet.
Well,
Not
come
yet.
on.
I know.
And also subject to change.
I would estimate we'll be seeing that first part of August. So.
Digital.
Are there any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to our Thumbs Up Award. Mike.
I do have a thumbs up. Thinking of our municipal firefighters and rescuers and their banquet that they had, celebrating another year going by, and I wanted to give a thumbs up to the two co-firefighters of the year, Tyler Silverthorne and Colby Hanish. Thumbs up to them, but not to exclude any of the volunteers and paid folks that we have that do that work for us. We certainly are grateful.
Thank you. Brian?
Pass.
Clark? A little pass. Mark?
You started on the wrong side. I was going to reiterate the same comments that include all the fire department, EMS, police, all of our first responders.
I don't want to, I'm going to piggyback off of that, and again, thank Chief, his helpers, and all of the people that put that together, because it's a neat night. For them to come out and be together, and they had 2 calls during the program, and then how many after the program before Sunday morning?
16 to 18, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so it was a busy night, so, but thank you to Chief Shipper and Steve and Mike, they did a great job, I appreciate it, so. All right, moving on. We have consent items. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussions on these items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today we have 3. Approve the March 15th, 2022 regular minutes, list of bills for period ending 3/31/22, and an urban revitalization tax exemption request. So is there any that need to be pulled?
Can I just ask a couple questions on the bills?
Sure.
On page 6, and I should have asked Jacob before the meeting, I guess, J&M Displays Fireworks, what is that exactly?
That is the 4th of July fireworks show
For this coming forward?
for this coming 4th of July. And we do, I think we did a 3-year contract with
Yeah.
them, and this is the 2nd or 3rd.
This is the
year.
3rd, I do believe,
I
but
think
it's a council expenditure every year. But it includes a shooter, a licensed shooter to come in. It doesn't it? Yeah, I think it includes.
Yeah, that includes, that's everything, so that's the fireworks issue.
Yeah.
And I think my other question, I can wait till afterwards, it's not important, so.
Okay, thank you.
It's kind of fun to put them on the spot. You might wanna- Magic wand.
Clark, and actually, there was small discussion amongst 2 of us that we shouldn't let him, as Mayor Pro Tem, just get.
No, that's exactly right. You can't just let it flow. You can't let
And
it
many of
flow.
my coffee group threatened to show up today too, so. Could I get a motion to accept the consent items?
So,
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the consent items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. We'll move on to action items. Our first action item today is the parade process and permitting. Item D1. The Public Safety Committee met on January 25th, 2022 to discuss parade procedures and recent concerns. In the past, there has been a set procedure or a defined set of regulations for an organization to hold or participate in a parade. Safety concerns were a top priority for the committee. Attached is a proposed application that the committee would like to be used for parades moving forward. It is the recommendation from the Safety Committee to approve the parade permit applications and rules. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look through those. There are 2 applications, one for the parade application itself, and then one for each parade entrant, I assume. That would be part of that parade that would need to be filled out.
So this will be an online thing, or no, you print this and then come drop it off, is that the game?
Not sure where it'll be available. It'll be available here for sure. We'll probably keep some copies over at the chamber, at least for a while. We can have it online. I don't know if they're dropping it off here, Kevin, or if they're dropping it, oh, it's to here.
It's to your, directed to the mayor.
Yeah, because Rob said he'd take care of it.
Yes, you did. I remember
I don't know if Kevin, if you want to talk a little bit of how this all came about, maybe some of the issues we talked about.
Council, Chief Manager. So the past couple of years, we've looked at some ways to maybe make our parades a little more efficient. And nationally, there's been some pretty horrific tragedies involving parades in the past couple of years, so we wanted to make them safer. So the things that we did in that committee is looked at who's organizing the parades, what kind of volunteers they have, what is their communication within the parade and the city and myself, and we're kind of combining that all together. The rules that you saw in front of you were all kind of just assumed before. They were verbal, they were mutually agreed upon, but we really wanted stuff in writing where folks could read it. This is what I should be doing, this is what I shouldn't be doing, this is what I absolutely can't be doing. And we just kind of wanted that to flow. We wanted to be more efficient, and we wanted better communication between the parade organizers and the city instead of just showing up for a parade one day. So that's kind of the direction that we took with this. I just met with the Ice Cream Day Committee this morning. There shouldn't be an issue with them coming up with 8 to 10 volunteers. We've met with the schools already. There shouldn't be any issues with them coming up with volunteers. There might be some other parades that they may struggle a little bit to come up with volunteers, and that maybe we need to think outside of the box a little bit, and maybe there's organizations in town that can step up. I don't know, but our biggest issue is we've been leaving intersections unprotected for a very long time, and I don't think we can do that anymore. We at least need to have a volunteer there in a safety vest saying, no, you can't go, or you got to wait. We got to protect those intersections. The other issue that we ran into a couple of years ago is I call in extra help for the parade, but what happens in a major accident or a major incident in town, and I pull all my personnel away from those key intersections. So there's a lot of stuff that we want to look at, but the key is to get more people involved in the parade itself.
On this, I noticed that it's at least 30 days prior to a parade.
Correct.
Okay. But the railroad requires 30-day notice,
Correct.
so don't those two collide?
No, the railroad requires a minimum of 30 days.
Right, a minimum of 30 days, so if people can apply 30 days prior, the two deadlines collide.
Yeah, we talked about that. Typically, everybody has theirs in within a couple of months, but we just wanted in writing that bare minimum.
Okay.
It's going to be the 30 days so we can notify the railroad.
And the city's gonna supply the vests?
Yes.
Why is that?
I think if we're encouraging folks to have committees, I've got the vests already from Greg Bright. I'll supply them at the parades, they can turn them back in.
Okay.
I just want them uniform to look the same across the board. That
I
way
understand.
One person doesn't have one from Uncle Joe that's from the 70s. Everyone's within the OSHA compliance. If I supply them, I know they're going to be good vests and they're going to look the same.
No problem. Parades generally do not come to the council for permission to run. That's not part, because I know in 8 years, I think I've only dealt with parades twice, and once was the length of the 150-year ice cream days parade, because we wanted that one stretched out, and then there was, safety with little kids on a lighted parade.
Correct.
It seems to me like the candy distribution, I'm probably gonna get shot down here, but it seems a little over the top. That you can't throw candy out.
I will say this, industry standard across the U.S. right now is nothing thrown, nothing given away at parades. They're doing that for liability reasons, and we don't want to get to that point. I still want the ability to hand things out, but when you're throwing from vehicles, you're not paying attention to what you need to pay attention to.
Okay.
That's our reasoning behind it.
I assumed that's what your reason, but,
So it should be handed out in person at curbside. The other thing that happens when throwing stuff out is it only makes it 5 feet, or it only makes it 10 feet. Then it encourages the kids to come out into traffic and pick up those items.
right, no, I get it. I do just things that I saw on that, so, all right.
Yeah.
Kevin, the Plymouth County cyclists haven't been in the parade for a couple of years, but we would throw them from our bikes, and we're right next to the person, and we would pick up the other floats candy and throw that as well. So, what's your take on if that's similar to the person walking to the?
I think it needs to be curbside, so whether it's a bicycle, whether it's somebody walking, we're going to be fine with that.
I assume the railroad is just a matter of giving them notice. They don't veto our parades, do they?
No.
They never have.
Yeah.
They just want notice that
They
they,
bifurcate them every now and then.
They will slow their speed down to a parade passing speed, but other than that, we've never had an issue with them vetoing the parade.
I've always advocated for a different route, where we start up on 18th and we actually end before the railroad track. It's a longer route, but it cuts the railroad out of it completely.
Yeah, we talked
This
about
doesn't
that.
govern routes, does it?
Now, well, actually it does govern routes, because you got a maximum of 10 blocks.
10 city blocks.
But I'm not gonna go there. I think if we could cut the railroad out, it'd be nice.
Yeah, you can start at the north end where I live and just stop before the railroad too.
But there you
Whatever you
go.
want.
There you go.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions?
Jason, where do the fees go to? Are they city property, those fees?
Well, for the ice cream days, doesn't it, I believe it goes to the chamber.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, if you're looking, because Kevin, we're not charging.
It's only the ice cream.
No, the only fees that apply are for the ice cream days, right?
For the entry. And it goes to pay for the best. I just can't help myself.
Okay, gotcha.
I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve parade process and permitting.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
I have a motion and a second to approve the parade process and permitting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Action item D2. 24th Street Southwest Bridge Repair. Attached is an agreement with Schemmer Associates Incorporated for the preparation of final plans to repair the 24th Street Southwest Bridge. The bridge suffered damage from a fire on February 12, 2022. The administration recommends that the council approve the agreement with Schemmer Associates Incorporated. The financial impact, the total cost paid to Schemmer Associates Incorporated under this agreement is $10,155. The estimated cost of repairs is $114,425. Jason, you want to comment on?
Yes. I mean, this all stems from that fire. Estimated cost, you see there, $114,425. This falls under our threshold for which stuff needs to be bid, formally, competitively bid. But it does fall underneath the competitive quote process. So under that process, you still need to have engineered plans. I mean, we just can't call up somebody and ask them to do it. So that's why we need Schemmer involved. They're the same company that came up, did the inspection. They've done all our bridge inspections for the last 4 years, probably. This bridge and the 4th Avenue Bridge. So they're familiar with our bridges. Unfortunately, this cost, our insurance doesn't cover bridges. So most likely the funding for us, I'm going to guess, comes out of road use to pay for it. But I think if you read through what was put together here by Darren, there is a time schedule in there. So construction, I'm assuming repairs would happen sometime after July 1. If the letting is late July, or late June, I'm sorry. And I don't know, maybe I'd said it earlier when I gave an update on whether it was here or through other conversations. Some of the damage that occurred and the repair of that damage is going to require that bridge get closed down for a short period of time. I believe they had said 2 days, maybe 3 days.
I was going to ask, what short period of time?
A matter of days, a couple days, because it's that rubber boot, that
Yeah.
drainage in there that they have to
some of that repair has to happen from above. So,
That's both directions, closed?
yeah, because that goes all the way across.
Yes.
Whether or not they can do half and half, I guess we haven't specifically spoke about that. Yeah. But,
Do you anticipate the truck traffic would go down to the Isco corner? Does that might be a little sketchy?
I believe when we shut it down a short period, I think there was a detour on the C-38 and up Lake.
Up to,
Yeah, that way.
up to 3.
Yeah, so those trucks that come in and go to Wells or Kemp's over there, yeah, they'll have to come up Lake to get there.
At the, these are gonna be somewhat skeptical questions. The first one is, does it need to be repaired?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, there was some, I
Because-
mean, there was fire damage to the steel to where it was discolored. And there's a, I can't remember what the boot, there's a, I wish I had it.
There's a washer, there's a underneath.
Membrane maybe?
Yeah.
No, it's more of a.
I don't know if it's
shim.
plastic or rubber or
It's
something.
it's a nylon shim, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
underneath.
That was damaged.
But here's the thing, if the bridge is, I really kind of wanted these guys here to kind of explain it. I'm very skeptical. Will there be any invasive on the face of the bridge, on the surface that is now being used? Will there be concrete taken out?
No.
There will not be.
No,
Okay. So they're gonna jack it up, slide new.
yeah.
So
There was no concrete damage, there was steel damage and then that drainage little boot that goes all
steel
the way across.
discoloration, right? I mean,
Yeah, so
I'm really,
they'll clean that
I'm
off.
really skeptical because the bridge, is functioning 100% fine right now. And, $114,000 or, $120,000, I am questioning how badly it really needs to be repaired and who's saying it needs to be repaired.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that chance though, Clark. You might not have any imminent failure of a bridge,